The Silent Guardians. The Galactic Concordat's assessment of Earth's defense capabilities lasted exactly 3 standard cycles. Their conclusion, delivered with the cold precision typical of their kind, dismissed humanity's fleet as primitive vessels maintained beyond reasonable operational parameters. The report, circulated among the Concordat's military command, became a source of quiet amusement. Admiral Kexry of the Concordat's expansion fleet read the report for the 3rd time, mandibles clicking in what passed for laughter among her species. The holographic display before her showed Earth's primary defense fleet, 37 ships of varying sizes, most bearing the scars of centuries of service. Their hulls, a patchwork of repairs and modifications, looked nothing like the sleek vessels of the Concordat. To think, she chittered to her command staff, these humans believe these relics will protect them from the might of our fleet. The assembled officers shared in their commander's amusement. The Concordat had conquered 17 civilizations in the past century alone, each more advanced than humanity's current technological level. Earth's isolation had worked against them, while the rest of the galaxy developed quantum drives and plasma weaponry. Humans clung to their fusion engines and ballistic defense systems. Their ships, some dating back 3 centuries, were kept operational through what the Concordat's engineers dismissed as primitive maintenance protocols. But if Admiral Kexry had looked closer, she might have noticed something peculiar about those aging vessels. The energy signatures, while seemingly consistent with outdated fusion technology, showed subtle variations that defied standard analysis. The hull compositions, appearing to be simple metallic alloys, contained trace elements that the Concordat's sensors couldn't quite categorize. Deep within Earth's lunar defense complex, Fleet Commander Sarah Chen studied her own displays, watching the Concordat's surveillance vessels at the edge of the solar system. Unlike the alien admiral's dismissive attitude, Chen's expression remained neutral, almost serene. Around her, the command center hummed with quiet efficiency as officers monitored the status of Earth's obsolete fleet. They're following the expected pattern, her tactical officer, James Rodriguez, noted. 3rd pass along the same vector. They're not even trying to hide their presence anymore. Chen nodded, her dark eyes reflecting the holographic display. Why should they? According to their intelligence, we're barely worth the effort of a formal invasion. She allowed herself a small smile. Status of the Lazarus Protocol. Rodriguez checked his readings. All ships reporting ready, Commander. The masking systems are functioning exactly as designed. As far as their sensors can tell, we're running on fumes and hope. The truth was far more complex. Humanity had learned long ago that appearing weak could be the greatest strength. While the galaxy rushed to showcase their technological achievements, Earth took a different approach. Every patch on those ancient hulls contained sensor-absorbing metamaterials. Each outdated fusion drive housed quantum cores that could match anything in the Concordat's fleet. The primitive maintenance protocols were actually ongoing upgrades, disguised to look like desperate repairs. The Concordat believes they're being subtle, Chen mused, watching another alien survey ship drift past Pluto's orbit. They think we don't notice their fleet gathering in the Kuiper Belt. She turned to her communications officer. Status of the Sleeping Dragons. All 37 ships maintain minimal power signatures, Commander. To their sensors, we look exactly like what they expect, a collection of aging vessels barely worth the fuel to keep them running. This was humanity's greatest deception. After centuries of watching alien empires rise and fall through their own hubris, Earth had developed a strategy of deliberate underestimation. They kept their true capabilities hidden, wrapped in layers of carefully crafted misconception. The Concordat's invasion was coming. Chen could read the signs in their fleet movements, in the increasing frequency of their reconnaissance missions. They would strike soon, confident in their overwhelming technological superiority. And when they did, they would learn what humanity had known for centuries. True strength lies not in the appearance of power, but in the power of appearance. In her quarters that evening, Chen reviewed the personal logs of the fleet captains. Each ship in Earth's decrepit fleet had been chosen for this role, their crews selected and trained for the deception they would need to maintain. Every captain understood that their apparent weakness was humanity's greatest shield. As she prepared for another quiet night of waiting, Chen thought about Admiral Kexri and the Concordat's approaching fleet. They would come with their quantum drives and plasma weapons, expecting to find easy prey. Instead, they would discover that humanity's greatest weapon was the galaxy's own arrogance. The silent guardians of Earth waited, their true nature hidden beneath centuries of careful preparation. The galaxy laughed at humanity's old fleet, never suspecting that the joke was on them. Soon, very soon, they would learn the true cost of underestimating Earth's legacy of steel and strategy. Legacy of steel. The Concordat strike force emerged from quantum space with practiced precision, their formation a deadly flower blooming in the void. 150 ships, each carrying enough firepower to level a small continent, approached the solar system's outer boundary. Admiral Kexri stood at her command post, her carapace gleaming under the bridge lights of her flagship, the inevitable dawn. "Status of the human fleet?" she asked, though she already knew the answer. Their surveillance had been thorough, their intelligence complete, or so they thought. Maintaining their usual patrol patterns, Admiral, her sensor officer reported. Their energy signatures remain consistent with outdated fusion technology. No indication they've detected our arrival. Kexri's mandibles clicked in satisfaction. The humans' primitive sensors wouldn't detect their approach until it was far too late. Their quantum wake dispersal systems were generations ahead of anything Earth's technology could perceive. In the Lunar Command Complex, Commander Chen watched the Concordat fleet's approach on displays that shouldn't have been able to detect them. "They're right on schedule," she noted, her voice carrying no hint of concern. "Initiate protocol awakening." Throughout Earth's obsolete fleet, carefully hidden systems began to power up. Quantum cores, disguised as fusion reactors, spun to life. Metamaterial hull plates shifted at the molecular level, ready to adapt to any form of attack. Weapon systems that had been masquerading as primitive railguns prepared to reveal their true nature. The first indication that something was wrong came when the Concordat fleet passed Neptune's orbit. Their quantum wake dispersal systems, supposedly undetectable, triggered alerts across their sensor network. "Admiral," the sensor officer's voice carried a note of confusion. "We're detecting anomalies. The human vessels are showing energy fluctuations that don't match their known capabilities." Kexri dismissed the concern with a wave of her upper limb. "Sensor ghosts. Their ancient technology probably leaks radiation in ways our systems misinterpret. Proceed with the attack plan." But as her fleet moved closer, the anomalies multiplied. The human ships, previously appearing to drift aimlessly in their patrols, began moving with unexpected precision. Their formations, seemingly random, suddenly revealed themselves to be carefully planned tactical positions. "Signal from the human fleet," the communications officer announced, surprise evident in their voice. "They're hailing us." Commander Chen's face appeared on the Concordat flagship's main display. Her expression remained as calm as ever, but now there was something else in her eyes, something that made Kexri's battle-hardened instincts scream in warning. "Admiral Kexri," Chen greeted her as if they were old acquaintances. "I trust you've enjoyed studying our fleet these past months. We've certainly enjoyed studying yours." The Admiral's mandibles clicked in irritation. "Your surveillance capabilities are irrelevant. Surrender now, and we will ensure your species' survival under Concordat rule." Chen's smile widened slightly. "I'm afraid there's been a misunderstanding, Admiral. You see, we haven't just been watching your ships. We've been learning from them, analyzing them, and improving upon them." As if on cue, the energy signatures of Earth's fleet changed. The supposedly primitive fusion drives revealed themselves to be something else entirely. Hull plates that had appeared to be patchwork repairs began shifting, their true nature becoming apparent. "Impossible," Kexri whispered as her sensors showed her the truth. The human ships weren't just matching Concordat technology. In many ways, they had surpassed it. "Admiral," her tactical officer's voice rose in alarm. "The human vessels are powering weapons we've never seen before. They're targeting systems. They're locked onto our quantum wake signatures." The first shot fired in the battle for Earth's solar system didn't come from the Concordat's superior forces. It came from the HMS Persistence, a 300-year-old Earth ship that, according to all intelligence, shouldn't have been able to scratch the paint on a Concordat vessel. The weapon's effect was devastating. It didn't target the enemy ships directly. Instead, it destabilized their quantum wake patterns, throwing their supposedly perfect formation into chaos. Ships that had been flying in precise alignment suddenly found themselves fighting their own drives, their quantum fields fluctuating wildly. "How?" Kexri demanded as her flagship's systems struggled to compensate. "Their technology was primitive. We saw their ships. We scanned them. You saw what we wanted you to see." Chen's voice carried no mockery, only a quiet confidence. "Every repair, every patch, every seemingly outdated system was designed to hide our true capabilities. We learned long ago that the best defense isn't always a show of force. Sometimes it's letting your enemy underestimate you until it's too late." The battle that followed would be remembered in Concordat history as the Day of Revelation. Earth's fleet moved with devastating efficiency, their true technology finally unveiled. Weapons that had been disguised as simple mass drivers revealed themselves to be quantum disruptors far more advanced than anything the Concordat possessed. Hull plates that had looked like crude repairs demonstrated adaptive properties that made them nearly impervious to conventional attacks. As her fleet fell into disarray, Admiral Kexri realized the true nature of humanity's strategy. They hadn't fallen behind the galaxy's technological race. They had simply chosen to run it in secret, using their apparent backwardness as a shield while they developed technologies that the rest of the galaxy couldn't imagine. The legacy of steel that Earth had maintained wasn't one of outdated ships kept flying through desperation. It was a legacy of patience, of careful planning, and of understanding that true strength often lies in being underestimated. As the Concordat fleet retreated in disarray, that legacy stood revealed at last, and the galaxy would never look at humanity's old ships the same way again. The tide turns. News of the Concordat fleet's defeat spread through galactic channels like a quantum shockwave. In the grand assembly halls of the Concordat capital world, the ruling council gathered in emergency session. The massive chamber, designed to showcase the power and sophistication of their civilization, now felt somehow less impressive as they watched recordings of their advanced fleet retreating from Earth's supposedly primitive vessels. High Counselor Vexna, supreme leader of the Concordat, watched the battle footage for the 12th time. Their most sophisticated analysis couldn't explain how humanity had hidden such advanced technology beneath a veneer of obsolescence. More disturbing were the readings suggesting that they had only seen a fraction of Earth's true capabilities. "The humans didn't just defeat our fleet," Admiral Kexri reported to the Council, her pride wounded but her tactical mind sharp as ever. "They revealed a technological sophistication that challenges everything we thought we knew about their civilization." In Earth orbit, Commander Chen coordinated with the Global Defense Network as humanity prepared for the Concordat's inevitable response. The first battle had been won, but she knew better than to expect the aliens to simply accept defeat and withdraw. "They'll be analyzing every second of the engagement," she told her staff during a strategy session. "Looking for weaknesses, trying to understand how we masked our capabilities for so long. The question is, how much more should we show them?" The answer came sooner than expected. The Concordat, stinging from their defeat, launched a series of probing attacks. Small squadrons of their most advanced ships appeared at random points throughout the solar system, testing Earth's response times and defensive capabilities. Each encounter revealed new surprises on both sides. During one skirmish near Mars, the HMS Endurance demonstrated why humanity's ships only appeared to be relics. When 3 Concordat destroyers launched a coordinated plasma strike, The Endurance's hull didn't just absorb the attack. It redirected the energy, using the aliens' own weapons against them. The primitive armor plating transformed into a living lattice of quantum-entangled particles, adapting in real time to any threat. Their technology isn't just advanced, one Concordat scientist reported to the Council. It's evolved along a completely different path than ours. While we focused on raw power and efficiency, they developed systems that learn and adapt. Their ships don't just fight. They evolve during battle. This revelation sent shockwaves through the Concordat military hierarchy. Their entire strategy had been based on overwhelming force and technological superiority. But how do you overcome an enemy whose defenses literally learn from every attack? The turning point came during an engagement in the asteroid belt. A Concordat battle group, attempting to establish a forward base, encountered what appeared to be a single Earth vessel performing routine patrol duties. The aliens, despite their recent losses, still outnumbered the human ship 8-1. The HMS Prometheus, under the command of Captain Maya Singh, appeared to be limping along on minimal power. Its hull showed evidence of recent damage. Its energy signature flickered weakly. The Concordat commanders, eager to salvage some victory from their campaigns, ordered an attack. What followed would be studied in military academies across the galaxy for centuries to come. The Prometheus's apparent damage was revealed to be an elaborate trap. As the Concordat ships moved in for the kill, they found themselves caught in a quantum web that the human vessel had been quietly weaving through the asteroid field. Interesting thing about asteroids, Captain Singh transmitted to the trapped alien vessels. They make excellent anchors for quantum field generators. Your sensors read them as natural background radiation, right up until the moment they synchronize. The network of quantum fields, hidden within the natural chaos of the asteroid belt, didn't just immobilize the Concordat ships. It gave the Prometheus complete control over their quantum drive systems. One by one, their engines went dark, leaving them helpless in space. When reinforcements arrived, they found the Concordat vessels arranged in a perfect geometric pattern, their crews unharmed but their pride severely wounded. Captain Singh had turned the entire encounter into a demonstration of just how far humanity's primitive technology had advanced. Back in the Lunar Command Complex, Commander Chen received Singh's report with quiet satisfaction. "Send the footage to our friends in the Concordat," she instructed her communications officer. "Make sure their analysts get a good look at how we handle their quantum drives. But keep the asteroid field modifications classified. Let them worry about where else we might have similar surprises waiting." The tide of the conflict had shifted dramatically. The Concordat, which had expected a simple conquest of a backward civilization, found itself facing an enemy that had turned secrecy and misdirection into an art form. Every engagement revealed new aspects of human innovation, while still leaving the aliens uncertain about the true extent of Earth's capabilities. In the Concordat Council chambers, the debate turned from conquest to containment. How do you handle a civilization that had not only matched your technological achievement, but had done so in ways you barely understood? More importantly, what other secrets were the humans still hiding behind their carefully maintained facade of obsolescence? The galaxy was changing, and humanity's revelation was just the beginning. The legacy of Earth's ancient fleet had become a symbol of a new kind of warfare, one where appearances deceived and adaptation trumped raw power. The tide hadn't just turned. It had revealed an entirely new ocean of possibilities. Echoes of victory. In the aftermath of the asteroid belt incident, the Concordat's military command faced an unprecedented crisis. Their fleets, once the undisputed masters of the galaxy, found themselves paralyzed by uncertainty. Every encounter with Earth's forces revealed new layers of human technological sophistication. Yet intelligence analysts remained convinced they still hadn't seen humanity's full capabilities. Admiral Kexry, now tasked with defensive operations rather than conquest, stood before a holographic display of known human ship deployments. The patterns made no tactical sense, until you realized that what appeared to be random patrol routes were actually complex quantum field harmonics, transformed into physical space. "They're not just fighting us," she explained to her command staff. "They're rewriting the rules of engagement with every encounter. Those ships we dismissed as relics, they're laboratories, testing grounds for technologies we never even thought to develop." The transformation of the conflict became apparent during an engagement near Jupiter's orbit. A Concordat heavy cruiser squadron, attempting to probe Earth's outer defense perimeter, encountered what their sensors identified as a disabled human vessel. After their previous experiences, they approached with extreme caution. The HMS Archimedes, appearing to drift powerless in space, represented everything the Concordat had initially mocked about Earth's fleet. Its hull bore the marks of centuries of service, its external configuration seemingly unchanged since its first launch. But as the alien ships moved closer, they discovered the true nature of humanity's outdated design philosophy. Captain Thomas Chen, Commander Chen's brother, waited until the Concordat ships were fully committed to their approach. "Interesting thing about old ships," he broadcast on an open channel. "Nobody expects them to be the cutting edge of temporal mechanics research." The space around the Archimedes suddenly distorted as centuries of accumulated quantum field interactions, stored within its battle-scarred hull, were released simultaneously. The Concordat vessels found themselves trapped in a bubble of altered time, where every action they took played out in microseconds from their perspective, but hours from the outside. "The physical age of our ships isn't a weakness," Captain Chen explained to his helpless opponents. "It's a resource. Every year in space, every battle, every repair. They've all left quantum impressions in the very fabric of our hulls. We didn't just maintain these vessels, we let them evolve." In the Concordat capital, the ruling council received reports of the encounter with growing alarm. Their scientists, trying to understand how humanity had weaponized the temporal effects of long-term space travel, found themselves questioning fundamental aspects of their own technological development. They didn't fall behind, one senior researcher concluded. They simply chose a different path. While we pursued power through advancement, they achieved advancement through persistence. Their obsolete fleet isn't a collection of relics, it's a living library of space-time manipulation. The revelation sparked a political crisis within the Concordat. Younger species under their control began questioning the Empire's technological superiority. If humanity had developed such capabilities in isolation, what other possibilities had the Concordat missed in their rush to dominate through conventional means? Commander Chen, monitoring the growing discord from Lunar Command, recognized the opportunity presented by the Concordat's internal struggles. "We never wanted this conflict," she told her staff, "but perhaps it's necessary, not just for Earth's security, but for the galaxy's development." The truth about Earth's fleet began to emerge across galactic communications channels. Humanity hadn't simply hidden their technological advancement. They had fundamentally reimagined what advancement meant. Their ships weren't just platforms for weapons and engines. They were experiments in the very nature of space-time interaction. The ancient hull of the Archimedes contained layered quantum fields that had been accumulating and evolving for centuries. The battle scars and repairs that the Concordat had dismissed as signs of weakness were actually carefully maintained temporal anchors, each one adding to the ship's ability to manipulate reality itself. In the Concordat Council chambers, High Counselor Vexna faced the uncomfortable truth. "We didn't just underestimate their technology," she admitted to her advisors. "We underestimated their entire approach to technological development. They turned time itself into an asset." The echoes of Earth's victory resonated beyond the immediate conflict. Throughout the galaxy, civilizations began to reconsider their approach to technological advancement. The human model, patient, deliberate, focused on understanding rather than overwhelming, offered an alternative to the Concordat's philosophy of constant replacement and upgrade. As the conflict entered its final phase, humanity's position had shifted from defensive survival to something far more significant. Their obsolete fleet had become a symbol of innovation and foresight, proving that true advancement wasn't always about having the newest technology, but about understanding the deepest principles of the universe itself. The galaxy was changing, and at the heart of that change was a fleet of Earth ships that had turned their very history into a weapon. The echoes of their victory would reshape galactic civilization in ways that neither humanity nor the Concordat had anticipated. Dawn of recognition. The final confrontation between Earth and the Concordat began not with a battle, but with a revelation. 3 months after the Jupiter incident, humanity decided to end the charade completely. Commander Chen, standing before a joint session of the Concordat Council transmitted directly to their capital world, prepared to show the galaxy what they had been hiding all along. Your civilization measures progress by the age of its technology, she addressed the assembled alien leaders. We measure it by understanding. Today, we'll show you why that difference matters. At her signal, Earth's fleet underwent its final transformation. The centuries-old ships that had already shocked the galaxy with their capabilities began to change at a fundamental level. Hull plates that had appeared to be simple metal transformed into crystalline structures that interfaced directly with quantum fields. Engines that had masked their true nature now pulsed with energy patterns that defied conventional physics. High Counselor Vexna watched in stunned silence as the true nature of humanity's technological achievement became clear. The ships weren't just advanced. They were something entirely new, something that challenged the very foundation of what the galaxy considered possible. Your latest warships, Chen continued, are impressive achievements of engineering, but they're limited by their newness. Our vessels have spent centuries accumulating quantum resonances, developing symbiotic relationships with space-time itself. We didn't maintain these ships. We grew them. The HMS Avalon, Earth's oldest serving vessel, demonstrated this truth in dramatic fashion. Under the command of Captain Diana Way, the ship executed a maneuver that should have been impossible. It didn't just move through space. It moved with space, using the accumulated temporal energy of its 300-year service to bend reality around itself. The Avalon isn't just old, Captain Way explained to the watching galaxy. It's experienced. Every battle, every repair, every moment in space has been absorbed and integrated into its very structure. We don't upgrade our ships. We let them evolve. In the Concordat capital, the implications of this revelation sparked a revolution in thinking. Their own approach to technology, based on constant replacement and upgrade, suddenly seemed short-sighted. While they had been building better machines, humanity had been growing something entirely different. Ships that learned, adapted, and developed their own relationship with the fundamental forces of the universe. The revelation extended beyond military implications. Earth's approach to technology offered solutions to problems that had plagued galactic civilization for millennia. The principles behind their ship's evolution could be applied to everything from planetary defense systems to environmental restoration. Admiral Kexery, watching from her flagship, finally understood the full scope of her earlier mistake. We thought we were facing an obsolete fleet, she transmitted to her superiors. Instead, we encountered the next stage of technological evolution. They weren't behind us. They were beyond us. The conflict that had begun with dismissive laughter ended with profound respect. The Concordat, recognizing the fundamental shift in galactic power dynamics, proposed not just peace but partnership. Earth's fleet, once mocked as relics, would become the foundation for a new era of technological development. Commander Chen stood in Lunar Command one final time, watching as diplomatic vessels replaced warships in Earth orbit. The deception that had protected humanity for so long was no longer necessary. Their ships, their true ships, could now serve as bridges between civilizations, teaching the galaxy that progress wasn't always about having the newest technology, but about understanding the deepest principles of existence. We kept our secrets not out of fear, she explained to a gathering of alien diplomats, but because we needed time. Time for our ships to grow, to learn, to become what we knew they could be. Now we can share that knowledge, help others understand that technology isn't just about power. It's about patience, understanding, and respect for the complexity of the universe itself. The dawn of recognition brought with it a fundamental shift in galactic civilization. Earth's fleet became a symbol not of military might, but of a new way of thinking about progress itself. The ships that had protected humanity through deception now led the galaxy toward enlightenment through honesty. In the years that followed, the principles behind Earth's evolving fleet revolutionized everything from space travel to planetary engineering. The galaxy learned that true advancement wasn't always about creating something new, but about understanding and nurturing what already existed. And in Lunar Command, where it had all begun, Commander Chen added a final entry to the log that had recorded humanity's greatest deception and most profound revelation. Today marks not just the end of our isolation, but the beginning of a new chapter in galactic history. We kept our secrets until we were ready to share them. Now, we can finally show the galaxy that the greatest technology isn't built. It's grown, nurtured, and allowed to become something more than its creators ever imagined. The story of humanity's obsolete fleet became legend, taught in schools across the galaxy as a lesson in the danger of assumptions and the power of patience. The ships that had been laughed at became the teachers of a profound truth, that sometimes the oldest things have the most to teach us about the future.